Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through the daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. I have quite a bit of things to talk about, so sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to ask you guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely. It takes a couple seconds, and I do greatly appreciate it. Now, with all of that in mind, we have been watching Bitcoin closely. I've told you guys, overall, we want to be watching Bitcoin to kind of stay in its nice little channel before it does hit 53.5K to 56K. I've been saying these targets for about almost, I want to say 2 weeks now, because it's a very, very important level for Bitcoin to reclaim for us to actually flip bullish. I know everybody was bullish this past week. I told you guys, I'm not bullish until we have those levels claimed. Of course, there's been a lot of bullish news being released on XRP and stuff like that, but for the most part, this market is going to do exactly what it wants until those levels are claimed. And in my mind, until those levels are claimed, we're still targeting a little bit of those lower targets, and we're going to be talking about those. So right now, the RSI had that little bit of a death cross, which on XRP usually it does lead to a nice little impulse, and then it has that nice little drop in price. We had a little bit of an impulse earlier this month until we had that drop in price just recently. Now, I do want us to hold the 85 centile range. This is major support. I think that this will actually be a key level for us to hold. If we do lose it, it's not going to look too good, especially for anybody who does want XRP to really kind of fly very soon. But I think that XRP is most likely going to range, and I think that this ranging is actually fairly good for the market. I told you guys we're watching more so for an extended bull run. Now, with that in mind, all of this sort of ranging on Bitcoin or even in this entire market is fairly good for us if we do want the market to kind of range on for a fairly long time and have that extended bull run. I'm watching the key fib levels though. I told you guys about 53 point around like 5K. That's the 382. After that, we look at the demand zone of about 56K, back into the channel where we pretty much were before we went to the all-time high currently. The same thing on Bitcoin, though, is the fact that we're breaking key support. And the bad thing about this is that we're targeting a little bit lower. I mean, right now, our low is about 47.5K. Honestly, the demand zone is down here at around, pretty much 46K. So right now, if we did, retest about 46K, that's not a bad thing. I also have, a few targets down here like 44K and also even 40K. I know that that's crazy, but that would be a 702 retracement. Also, the demand zone is going all the way back to September. I would not be surprised if that is, hit. But of course, we are watching the market sentiment very closely. I know everybody was extremely bullish over, the weekend. Everybody was bullish last week. It's always nice to play a little bit of a caution point at those times in the market, because when everybody is bullish, you should be a little bit worried, okay? It's just clear to me at this point that when everybody is bullish, always kind of, tuck away a little bit of fiat just to buy the dip, because that's pretty much what ends up happening. Even when XRP was going to about like $1.07, everybody was ecstatic, but I wasn't. I told you guys, watch Bitcoin closely here, because Bitcoin, although we hate Bitcoin and we don't like, the technology behind it, we have to, kind of support it here. But ever since that day, you guys can pretty much see that we've been in a solid decline, and we've been hitting that resistance point. This is 96 cents in terms of resistance. I told you guys, until this is reclaimed and flipped into support, we're not going to have too much upside potential here. Now, with all of this in mind, we are looking more so at the SEC lawsuit, and we're more so talking about, where we could essentially go in terms of prices and stuff like that. So let's actually talk about this. So, short term, yeah, sure, things are a little bit, volatile, things are a little bit bearish, but macro viewpoints are extremely bullish, especially on XRP. We even see our SEC's XRP lawsuit. Crypto analyst says we should all be rooting for Ripple to win. Now, I've been talking to you guys about this SEC lawsuit for a fairly long time. I personally believe that, when we're talking about XRP and we're talking about, the next major step for it, it is a win in the SEC lawsuit. Okay? Now, if we have that win, or that win, sorry, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous in terms of the price appreciation. Okay, we even see here Ethereum will drop below 50% total value locked on chain. It started the year at 97% and has dropped to 66%. Crushing fees are seeing users flock to BSC, Solana, Avalanche, Polygon, and others. And of course, we do see here XRP wins its court case versus the SEC. The SEC is a schoolyard bully at this point and is doing anything but protecting investors. The Ripple victory would be a net positive for the industry. And it is true. You know, when we're talking more so about where this lawsuit will lead us, I think it honestly will put all retail eyes on crypto. I think individuals are going to flock to crypto and load up on a ton of these assets. And XRP definitely is going to be one that a lot of them are going to try to buy. Now, I'm not going to say that there's going to be a supply shock because there's not going to be, but I'm just saying in terms of XRP, it's going to have a ton of mass media attention behind it. We're going to be seeing a Ripple IPO. We're going to see ODL customers coming back to, XRP. And not only that, but the demand for it is going to be astronomically high, and it's going to be the only asset that has regulatory clarity. And of course, Ripple is going to be the leading name in the game for bringing regulations to this space. Now, all while this is, happening, all while, the XRP, community is pretty much all focused on the SEC lawsuit, we have been seeing a ton of movement within the tokenization scene as well. This goes back to November 3rd, how tokenization is changing the way the industry thinks about financial transactions. Now, the best part about this is that this is talking more so about from PolySign Inc. You might have heard of PolySign Inc. It's this building the future of digital assets. This is actually a pretty interesting company because the individuals behind it. Okay, let's check out some of these individuals. So first off, David Schwartz, CTO and chief cryptographer at Ripple, co-designer of the XRP ledger as well, and Arthur Brito, which is the co-founder of Ripple Labs and co-designer of XRP ledger. Okay, and we see everything in this, raising the standard in regulation and compliance. Relationships come first, custody at the core. Up here, we even see groundbreaking security, proprietary blockchain technology, the opportunity of a generation. Okay, now, I'm not saying that they're going to use XRP technology just because Arthur Brito and David Schwartz are on there, but I'm saying it has a fairly good meaning to this, and the connections run deep with XRP and Ripple to a lot of this stuff. Brown Brothers, Harriman and PolySign Inc., collaborated on this article to explore tokenization's potential to transform financial services and how the ability of the technology to deliver on its promise of automation, liquidity, and transparency will require interoperability between traditional service providers and digital players to bring all its benefits to investors. And of course, when we're talking about this, they are talking about DLTs. They're talking about pretty much, know your customer, anti-money laundering, all that kind of stuff. And then they're also talking more so about, stable coins too. And of course, CBDCs, which we know are all coming. But the best part about this is we look at what type of assets can be tokenized. Now, this is where things get interesting because I've always said everything will be tokenized. We see here physical objects such as fine art and collectibles, precious metals like gold and silver, real assets such as real estate, intangible assets such as equities, bonds, and mutual funds, other intangible assets such as licenses, patents, copyrights, intellectual property, unlisted physical securities as well. And we even see security token offerings. We're seeing stable coins as well. And we're even seeing CBDCs. The future of all of this entire market, I honestly think that at some point in time, everything that we own will be in a digital wallet. That is going to be at the highest grade of security, similar to a ledger, okay? And I honestly think that everything will be tokenized. We even see the benefits of tokenization in terms of the DLT-enabled primary and secondary markets. By tokenizing hard-to-access asset classes, the industry could potentially improve settlement efficiency as well as enable new liquidity through tokenized and fractionalized trading in DLT-enabled primary and secondary markets. So when we're talking about what tokenization is going to lead us to, it's pretty much going to lead us to the efficiency of digital assets. And of course, here's the benefits of issuing digital assets as an investment vehicle. You can pretty much read more about this if you guys do want to, but it's pretty much, also taking into accountability the DLT efficiency standpoints. Like for example, XRP, we're seeing here, from a technology perspective, the market will need a resilient distributed infrastructure that can that can support the full life cycle of a tokenized asset via a cross-border, asset-agnostic, multi-party ecosystem that doesn't necessarily exist at scale today. Such a network would need to enable atomic cross-border settlements of different assets across multiple public and private digital ledgers, 24 hours per day, 365 days per year. Near instant transaction processing timescales, real-time transparency. And the funny thing about this is, honestly, whenever I read stuff like this, I'm like, there is essentially a network that could handle all of this right now. Okay, and when we're talking about RippleNet, I do think that it could handle this right now, or even Hedera Hashgraph. I've always talked to you guys about, I don't really care what asset handles all of this volume, or multiple assets handling this volume. As long as crypto is in the game for this, it's perfect. And this is all going to be crypto, because this is all DLTs and blockchain. Okay? And then we also see end-to-end life of a cycle, and this is pretty much all the minting, all of that kind of stuff, in terms of like NFTs and stuff. It's going to get so interesting very fast once all of this is at scale. And of course, they are talking about Swift, they're talking about API plug and plays, and they're talking about PolySign's Polynet, as an example. Which, of course, like I said, you could use RippleNet with XRP. So overall, when we're talking about what's going to be happening, I think that everything is going to be tokenized. And this kind of leads me back to this, right? So when we're talking about the future of XRP, I know that we get a little bit, crazy with these, price targets in this market, but we do see here. Hi all, let's check crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin targeting $15 trillion. I know many will warn me that XRP price has nothing to do with the cap. This isn't for you, this is for the ones who can't calculate the price with the market cap. Bon voyage, XRP, bon voyage, crypto. Now check this out. So we do see here XRP price, rough estimate using altcoin total market cap. Now in terms of tokenization, Swift just said that the total market cap for tokenization is going to hit about $24 trillion by 2027. That's 6 years from now. This is going to 2023. We do see here, Wave 3 targets $15 trillion in terms of the overall market cap, okay? And then all the way up to like $594 trillion in the long run. XRP current market cap, $44 billion. Altcoin market cap current, $1.4 trillion, okay? Now, we're going off, and shout out to Defend Dark for this, by the way, but they're going off of the XRP dominance right now, which currently XRP dominance about 1.83%. We know at scale XRP has hit 30% dominance in the past, but we're going off of that currently right now. They're pretty much saying 3.06%. If altcoin market cap hits 15 trillion, the XRP cap would be about 459.6 billion. XRP price would be about $4.59, considering 100 billion token. Now, we're considering a $594 trillion of assets to be tokenized. Now, I'm just saying, if we do get to the tokenization phase, that's going to be very interesting, because then we do see XRP cap would be about $18.2 trillion, and the XRP price would be about $182. Now, I would say that this is actually a fairly reasonable area to talk more so about, because this is actually fairly realistic in terms of tokenization and how we get to those points. This is no hopium saying, hey, the Riddlers are telling us this. This actually has clear-cut math behind it. So I think that this is fairly logical in a sense, because when we're talking about how big tokenization will be, I think that this is a good idea to really kind of look into it and see how much this actually will be worth. Because even in terms of what will be tokenized, all of this goes hand in hand with that, okay? And also, just so you guys know, almost everything, even the stock market, will be tokenized at some point in time. Now, when we look more on, we do see here, this calculation is only with the current dominance of XRP. Just imagine what would happen if, and only if, XRP has the only one, right? Having regulatory clarity, of course. Now, I'm just saying it right now, okay? With regulatory clarity, first off, just look at this. I want to go back a little bit in time, and I want to show you guys dominance levels going even back as far as 2017 and 2018. That's right, just the last bull run. So, When we're going back here, the funny thing about XRP hitting about 24.73%, that was pretty much where we stabilized. But we do see up here, we hit about 31.33%. Just imagine the price of XRP if we had that percentage. That would be absolutely ridiculous, because in terms of the market cap at that point, we'd be almost like worth 200 plus trillion dollars in market cap. And of course, this is all going by the derivatives market, and here is pretty much that price up here, which is $594 trillion. And I think that this is more so of a logical way to put it. I think that this is actually fairly clear cut and dry. Like I said, definitely shout out to Defend Dark for this, because this is fairly interesting, and it's more so logical in terms of how I've always talked about tokenization. Tokenization at scale should not be disregarded. Of course, will this happen by 2023? It's hard to say, but if we're talking about 2027 being worth $24 trillion in tokenized assets from Swift, I think that we could pretty much push those numbers up a lot more, especially at tokenization, with scale added into it. So with that in mind, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys don't want free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night, wherever you guys are. And those people with us, been Nick. Peace out, guys.